Anyway, thank you, Eugene. Thank you so much. That was, and Senator Melvin Little Crow, thank you for your inspiring words and blessing and welcoming us here today for this really exciting event in terms of signing ceremony. And thank you for the drum and the presence of the drum, and we always are pleased to see the young ones able to bring to us the importance of the drum and your culture. And wow, that was amazing, Shea Eagle, to hear Canada's national anthem sung in your beautiful Dakota language and your beautiful voice. That it is truly moving, and it really just makes our hearts sing as well. So, well, we are so thrilled to have so many community members here, and I want to thank Chief and councillors to inviting us here to the Whitecap Dakota First Nation. It's always truly inspiring for me to witness firsthand the tremendous progress and excellence being achieved here in your nation. It is inspiring to all of us. So Chief Darcy Bear and Councillors Dwayne Eagle and Dallin Bear for this extraordinary opportunity to be with you and to spend a little bit of time just now learning about your dreams and vision for the next steps here for your people and for this whole region. This signing is a major step forward together on the road to self-government for the Whitecap Dakota First Nation. As I think all of you in this room know, Whitecap Dakota is one of the most impressive First Nations in Canada, and in that attracting investments and job creation is one of the most important metrics of success. You have achieved such success operating through the First Nations Land Management Act, and now are poised to take another great step. From the beautiful golf course and the casino to the future plans for your hotel and convention center and light industrial park, and to allow Canadians from all over to come and understand the beauty of your language and culture in this land and water, but also from around the world. It is a transformation that is so clearly 7-generation thinking. This is about the kind of economic success that will serve generations to come, and it is that 7-generation thinking that we can feel guides all of the decisions here in this community, and as we take this decision today, how it will affect all of your descendants for 7 generations and for all of Canada. Today, as we build on Whitecap's impressive record by signing an agreement in principle on self-government, this sets the stage for this community to achieve even greater success. We know that self-governing First Nations end up doing way better in almost every economic, health, and education outcomes. This is about decolonizing. It is about getting out from under the Indian Act. It is about righting the wrongs of generations. For me as minister, my job is to stop funding programs and to actually build successful First Nations governments and First Nations-led institutions. The agreement in principle between Canada and the Whitecap Dakota First Nation paves the way for ongoing negotiations towards what will be a final agreement that will modernize and fundamentally redefine the relationship between Canada and the Whitecap Dakota First Nation. This new nation-to-nation relationship that enables Whitecap to move out from under the Indian Act and to be able to chart its own path as it shapes its social and economic well-being. Negotiating and implementing self-government agreements are key to achieving reconciliation with Indigenous communities. as you know, and as the Prime Minister has said so clearly to all ministers, that what we are doing, our goal, is to renew the relationship with Indigenous people based on the recognition of rights, respect, cooperation, and partnership. Everything we do needs to change in that relationship and that nation-to-nation partnership that is the way forward. This will create a pathway to development and economic growth that generates benefits for Indigenous people and all Canadians, and as the Chief says so often, that moves at the speed of business and actually allows that nations can make decisions in their own time, not waiting for permission from the government of Canada to do what a nation and its community have determined is in their best interest. In practical terms, self-government establishes the framework for First Nations governance that gives First Nations greater control over all decisions that affect members and their lands. This includes how a First Nations government will be structured and what lawmaking and enforcement powers it will have. We in Canada, I think people don't still understand self-government. I think that they don't understand that means that you write your own laws, that you actually can determine what is the way that things will work here in your community. So whether that's how you will protect language and culture or the environment or the businesses that come here, this is actually crucial to your community. It is about land and resources and developing community and an economy. It's creating laws that reflect the community's culture, priorities, and aspirations, and the ability to seek justice in the way that works the best for the Whitecap Dakota First Nation. We know that the Whitecap Dakota First Nation is already a leader in many of these areas. Self-government will provide the Band Council with greater governance tools that increase its ability to promote sustainable economic growth so it can deliver an ever higher level of services to its citizens. Equally important, I know it will also galvanize a new generation of First Nations leaders as local youth seize the opportunities presented by these new powers and run with them. I envision Indigenous youth not just closing the gap in health, education, and employment outcomes, but also becoming dynamic community, regional, and national leaders. Leaders who will inspire and motivate all Canadians as we move forward into the next 150 years of this country. With the outstanding leadership of Chief Bear mentoring community's youth, I'm confident that they can achieve anything that they set their minds to. I remember fondly the Chief Bear's personal story, which was so inspiring as how he had been identified and helped by elders and then given the tools and the skills to be able to become a leader. And I see that in your counselor here as well, that this is a legacy of the Whitecap Dakota and the kind of generational understanding about preparing for a strong future. We know that and need the Whitecap's success to be replicated in communities across Canada in the years to come. So, of course, our immediate priority is to finalize a self-government agreement, which takes a few more steps before Whitecap can become self-governing. A final agreement must first be negotiated. We want Whitecap members to understand that they will still continue to be recognized and treated as status Indians under the legislation. Self-government does not create, abolish, or modify any existing Aboriginal rights of the Whitecap Dakota First Nation. Most important, you can rest assured that no final self-government agreement is possible in Canada without the approval of community members. Both Canada and Whitecap's leadership are committed to ensuring open communication throughout the process with all members and residents of the Whitecap Dakota First Nation. Consultations have already taken place, and information is being shared with Whitecap residents. This essential dialogue will continue during the ongoing negotiations. Our goal for the future is to submit a final agreement to the community for a vote. The final decision about the agreement ultimately rests with each of you. Based on our constructive discussions to date, I'm confident that we will reach a mutually satisfactory final agreement, one that expands Whitecap's capacity to capitalize on this community's many, many strengths, repeatedly demonstrated by its proven success. I have no doubt that self-government will lead to ongoing transformational change in this community, and that Whitecap will continue to be a model throughout the country and the world. I am so looking forward to working with you as this promising future unfolds. Thank you, Pidamia.